Good evening. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska softball transfer Jordy Bahl met with the media today to give her initial reaction after deciding to continue her collegiate softball career closer to home. Bahl was asked what she has made of this Nebraska roster so far and how she might find her role on this team. Listen in.
I don't know. This team has a lot of strengths, and so I don't want to walk in and in any way feel like I'm overstepping anything. That's not what I want to do. I just want to come into this program and help in whatever way I can, and I just think our team is going to work hard all season to just leave it all out there, and then when you just leave it all out there, it's in the Lord's hands. Whatever happens, you're giving everything that you have, and that's all you can ask for, so it's going to be fun to see what happens.
Coming up on Sports Nightly, we'll have both Jordy Bahl and head coach Rhonda Revelle in studio to get their thoughts on what the future holds for Husker softball. Another Nebraska female athlete in the spotlight today was Axelina Johannesson, who earlier today was named the Big Ten Women's Field Athlete of the Year, voted on the conference's head coaches. In the sophomores 2023 campaign, she swept both the indoor and outdoor Big Ten shot put titles, was an NCAA runner-up in the indoor shot put, and an NCAA Division I champion in the outdoor shot put just a few weeks back. Congratulations to Axelina. On some international Husker news this week, the International Basketball Federation released the 25 players selected on Japan's preliminary World Cup roster, where Keisei Tominaga appeared on that list. This marks his second appearance with the senior national team after he played in 7 games last summer, averaging 15.9 points per game. Japan will have a busy slate of games for pre-tournament preparation in Tokyo and will begin tournament play on August 25th in Okinawa. Just up the road in Omaha, the College World Series moves forward today, where the field will narrow to 4 teams after tonight. Earlier today, TCU took out Oral Roberts 6-1 in an elimination game, and just getting underway is LSU and Tennessee, where both teams will battle to keep their seasons alive. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, drop. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit. Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon steps, throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to the 35, to the 30. Riptide down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Oh, it's so good to be back with you. Hope you enjoyed your 3-day holiday weekend, Juneteenth yesterday, so we had a best of, but great to be back with you here tonight. We have a heck of a show lined up for you tonight. Jessica got the first one-on-one interview with Jordy Bahl after making her announcement that she is coming back home to play for the Cornhuskers. We're going to have that coming up here in just a little bit. I did say when we had our last show on Thursday that it was a huge weekend for Matt Rule in football. A lot of high-caliber prospective student athletes on campus, and boy, did the guys do well. They picked up 5 commitments since we last visited on Thursday night. I'm going to run through them real quickly. Callan Barta, a safety from Topeka, was here over the weekend, and I think the coaches were really impressed with what he was able to do. Jake Peters from Cedar Falls, an offensive lineman, committed to the Cornhuskers over the weekend. Evan Taylor, a real burner he's a wide receiver from North Carolina. Nebraska's not done much in North Carolina, but Matt Rule's name means a lot in that state now that he coached for the Carolina Panthers. The latest one is Landon Davidson from the Denver area, big offensive lineman, 6'4", 295. Praylon Prude is from the state of Texas. He's a safety, 6'5", long, 190-pounder. Those are the ones that have committed since we were with you last Thursday night. So big weekend. Knew it was going to be. They had the Friday Night Lights camp that was very successful. They had to move it inside because of some thunderstorms in the area, so they had to bring it into the indoor facility. But here in Nebraska, what does that matter? That's okay, right? You can do that.
Absolutely. And they're not done. I can tell you that. I
Nope.
mean, I just walked to my office about an hour ago, and they were down there taking photos. And so it's full speed ahead, and they have got a lot of momentum going right now. I thought it was interesting, too, just of the 14 commits for this class, 5 DBs, 4 offensive linemen. We heard Coach Rule talk about how important he wanted to add some more depth in that offensive line room. He'd like to carry a few more bodies. Well, he's definitely making that a priority there with those guys. And then the DBs. I mean, they're going to play a lot of DBs. You can absolutely see kind of what the priority is for this recruiting class, being that over half are DBs and offensive linemen.
And some of those DBs, you could bulk up and make them linebackers.
Yeah.
You can bring them up a level, which we saw that Gage Stinger's a guy that kind of can be either a linebacker or safety type in spring ball this year. Javen Wright, Buddha is what they call him. He could kind of do both. And I think they want the flexibility of guys that maybe if they need to go cover more spread offenses, they can get out there. And then you obviously got to have your bulkier linebackers as well. I've heard some people that have consternation, Jessica, that, man, there's a lot of 3-star guys in here. I don't put any stock into that. I trust the eyes and the evaluation of this staff that they see something that they go, I can work with that young guy. And they also can sense some passion coming back their way from those players.
Listen, they made their money doing this type of stuff at Baylor and turned Baylor around and by doing this very thing. There are some higher star guys in this recruiting class, but then there are guys that they see potential in that fit what they want to do, that buy into the culture, that they see something that they can mold. I mean, I think the kid that committed from Kansas, Callan, didn't have a Power 5 or didn't have an FBS offer.
Correct.
But I think he came to camp, and they probably fell in love with his work ethic and what he could do. And the camps are obviously very important to this coaching staff. These guys are coming in, they're coming to camps, and they're coming back for official visits, and they're kind of seeing how much these players are invested in Nebraska, how much they want to be here, and kind of getting a feel for what kind of player they might be. And yeah, just because they might be a certain star at a certain position, there's a lot of times this staff can say, he's playing the wrong position. We're going to get him here and see where he fits. And I think they just see some kind of potential that they can either develop or maybe move around to wherever they see fits right. But kind of had planned on leaving here and not committing right away and was going to go and maybe take some other visits. But he left here and it was just gnawing at him inside. And I have heard that from people that I knew about Matt Rule before he took this job, right when he took this job, about how it's really, really hard to say no to him when you're sitting in that meeting. And I think we're seeing that with these recruits when they come in here and you're seeing people commit right away. I think when you sit down with him and he's giving you a spiel and what he sees in you and the potential that he sees in you, I think it's probably really hard to walk away and tell him, not right now.
Some of these young men have said there's a different feel at Nebraska, more of that they do generally care about you.
Yeah.
And you're not just athlete 1, 2, 3 that's running cone drills for us, that they invest in it. And I think we've all seen that in the last 7 months from this staff.
I think they're having fun too.
They do. Well, they're playing pickleball out here in the concourse on some of these nights. But yeah, and so I know fans, a lot of people get locked into these stars. Don't worry about that. This staff knows that at Nebraska, at Baylor, wherever they've been, you have to develop guys once you get there. And they look for the mold and go, I can do something with that speed or that twitchiness that they might have. So don't get locked up into that stuff.
I mean, we've been talking about this from the start, that they see things on film that stand out, that jump out, that not a lot of people do. They just can see things that they can work with that maybe other people don't. And I also thought it was neat too. One of the things I read about, and it seems like a lot of these offensive linemen are saying this. So we've been hearing about how they move in a pack and how tight they are, and just that culture that Coach Raiola has set in place with this group. And now that's starting to influence these recruits. They liked that feel when they got here, and it was how close-knit they were, and they wanted to be a part of that. And so it's not only beneficial for this current football team and how this is moving, that this group is so tight-knit, it's also now impacting these recruits that come in, that have their, they have, a lot of times they're in home, whoever their hosts are offensive linemen or position group guys, and they're getting a feel for that. They're like, oh, this is really neat. I want to be a part of that.
You mentioned 14. That's the number the class is at right now. So 5 since Thursday. So we knew it would be a flurry. that kind of happens in recruiting. It kind of goes in cycles where you get a little bit of momentum and one kid sees, oh, I went on that visit with that guy. He just committed. I better get in there and do this. So it was a good, productive weekend for them. Also wanted to mention before we hit our first break, and we're going to get to Jordy Bahl in the second segment, it was a pretty good weekend for Husker volleyball as well. John Cook, they flew back middle week last week, and John Cook said that he was on the phone at 12:01. That was the first time you could reach out to not the 24 class, but the 25 class. And they picked up 3 commits for the 25 class. So these are young ladies who can't sign until November of 24. But Terrera Sigler from Arizona, the number 6 outside hitter in that class. Campbell Flynn, love that first name. Number 5 setter, she's from Michigan. And then a local product, Carrie Leimbach from Lincoln Lutheran. She's a defensive player, a libero and defensive specialist. So they got 3 commits in the first couple of days that you could even actually talk to these 25 recruits. So the machine keeps rolling for Husker Vol. They pretty well have the 24 class locked up and they're ready to go.
And I think this 25, all these commitments that they got were all top 10.
Carrie Leimbach, the local gal, is not. She's like, I think, number 36 defensive specialist, but she's right here in Lincoln, and you love taking somebody from local.
Well, and Campbell Flynn, she's setter.
The 5, yep.
6'3" setter, and picked Nebraska over Texas. So you always like to win when a battle over Texas, right? But with setters too, you don't necessarily take one every single year, right? And you
don't want to. It's like quarterbacks. You don't want to load up too many.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose your opportunity. If you're a setter, you don't want to lose that opportunity because you have to lock them in. But then also you don't want to lose the opportunity to play for the schools that you really want to. So I know for her, she wanted to make sure that she made that decision really quickly.
There would be 2-year separation between Flynn and Bergen Riley, who's the true freshman this year for Nebraska, and that's kind of what you want. You want like a junior and a freshman so that you can kind of build that on through. So the machine continues to roll for Husker volleyball. Not surprised by that.
Just reload.
And like I said, the 24 class for them is pretty well tidied up. That's the group that will sign in November, and then some of them will probably show up in January and take part in beach volleyball.
Which that's how volleyball recruiting works, and that rule changed in the last 5 years to where you couldn't recruit even
they used to recruit 8th graders, 7th graders.
For example, Jordy Bahl committed as an 8th grader. The rules changed where you couldn't talk to them, you couldn't actually officially offer until they become that 12:01, whatever that date is, that they become juniors. And so, but still for volleyball, you're seeing that a lot of them are committed. You have your class pretty much locked up a year in advance, and so then that's when you really start, trying to accumulate and build that next class. And so it's 2 years in advance.
Absolutely. So like when they're going to showcase tournaments now, like Jalen Reyes and Kelly Hunter, they're looking probably at freshmen and sophomores.
Yes.
Trying to get on the radar and go, okay, that's somebody we're going to want to get on right when we can to do that. So you're right. I'm glad they backed that off. That's not right to me to go get 8th graders and lock them in. I think that's way, way too early.
I think it's really hard to know as an 8th grader or 7th grader, whatever. I mean, we were seeing crazy commitments. I think it's really hard to know. That's a huge decision. That's a lifelong decision. Where you want to go play college, but you had to be a part of the rat race because that's what everybody was doing. So you couldn't not do that as coach. Everybody had to do that. But I think it's better for these young women that you give them some time and they're more mature and it's not so much pressure at such a young age that I think it was absolutely the right move to make.
Good stuff. All right, Father's Day this weekend. I got my first magazine, got my first football magazine.
Was that a Father's Day present?
That was a Father's Day gift from one of the daughters. So
your daughters know you well, obviously.
I'm like, yep, okay, that's. I've got some plane flights coming up. I said, there we go. That's going to get me through some plane flights to digest all of that. We're inside of 75 days from kickoff.
Yeah, you go to Huskers.com and then you click on the schedule. They have the countdown.
They do?
Countdown, days, hours, minutes. So you can follow along right there.
Locked in and ready. I had not seen that. I was on Huskers.com today. I didn't see that. All right, Jordy Bahl coming up here in just a minute. Jessica caught up with her earlier today, the first one-on-one interview that she has given. She did a press conference earlier today, but Jessica got her in studio to talk. Hour 2, we'll hear from her coach, Rhonda Revelle, will be down here. Also in the second hour, we're coming up on a deadline for the Cornhusker State games. Dave Mlnarik will be here to tell you what you need to know if you're going to try to get registered for one of the 70-something sports that they have. I would like to see like Cole play some pickleball or something out there, but I don't know if he can hang with our football coaches.
I think Cole, there's definitely a sport that Cole could participate in.
He's been in the games before. What did you play? Was it team sport?
It was basketball, like
basketball.
a 3-on-3.
His basketball team played.
Yep.
You're a Frisbee golfer?
I could be. could start today.
Wait, what's that called?
Yeah, it's Frisbee golf. You got it. Yeah.
Remember when you thought a football player got a
Yeah,
hole-in-one?
it was Nash. Was it Nash or one of those big fellas? They said he
Yeah,
had
he
his
got
first
a hole-in-one,
and it was not
Frisbee golf.
Yeah, it was Frisbee golf. I got fooled on that little deal. And we want you to be a part of the program as well. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. It says Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night. We're back to hear from Jordy Bahl next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. As worldwide leaders in ag technology, UNL faculty and students innovate using emerging technologies to improve yields and nutrition, and designing wireless in-field networks increasing precision in agriculture. Plus, UNL is breaking ground on a $7.2 million feedlot innovation center near Meade. UNL is doing big things for the future of agriculture.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
FNBO is the great big small bank, and for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family-owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now to the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and it is officially official. Jordy Bahl is back home and officially a Husker. How you doing?
Good.
How has it been these last couple weeks? How would you describe these last 10 or 11 days?
Man, it's felt a lot longer than 10 or 11 days just because of everything that's happened. But it's been a true, roller coaster. So come off the high of winning a national championship and singing on stage with Toby Keith. And then the very next day, I have to tell my coaches that I am planning on coming home and staying home. And while that is just a decision that makes me very happy and I'm happy to be here, it was obviously very tough to tell them and my teammates. But now I'm home, I'm starting to settle in, and I'm just feeling a lot of relief, a lot of happiness, and just joy to be back here.
I know you've had to answer this a lot, but for our listeners and Husker fans, what was that decision? What went into that decision to want to come back home?
Yeah, so most of it is just I've been homesick. And so my freshman year, I had those feelings, and while I know every freshman has those feelings, my second year, they didn't go away. They just kept getting worse. And so that's where I knew my heart had been home for quite a while, and so I just decided to follow that.
What is it about the state that you love it so much?
It's just home, and to someone who's not from here, you might not necessarily feel that or understand it, but home is home, and it's where my family is, it's where my brothers are, it's where my support system has been my entire life, and I'm just really proud to be a Nebraskan and from here, and so representing the N is going to mean so much.
I know, you talk about the sport in the state, and you take a lot of pride in that, and the fact that this roster is full of kids from the state of Nebraska. How neat is that for you to join girls that you grew up playing with, playing against, and you kind of have some familiarity with that also have that same kind of pride that you do?
Yeah. Well, I think it's full circle, but also it's a pretty emotional thing. Like I said, I grew up playing with some of those girls, and so now that I'm going to get to finish it with them, right where it started, it's that full circle. But it also just means a lot because being from here and understanding just the pride that you have for this state, they have that same feeling and same love for it. And so it's going to be really cool to take the field with those girls, knowing that it just means something more.
I've said this too about you. I mean, I know that coming home means a lot to you, but I don't think you would have come and joined a team that wasn't ready to take a next step with the pitcher. So you have to be pretty confident too with the lineup that's already in place that you're joining, right?
Yeah, they have a really strong lineup. They have a great defense and great pitchers as well on staff. I mean, all the tools are there, and so I have a lot of confidence in this team.
What was your reaction when you heard the explosion in ticket sales and the waiting list for season tickets for Bahl Stadium?
I think it is just really cool for this program and really cool for all the young girls in this state as well who are going to get to come to these games and see a sellout crowd, and it's just going to fill them with excitement and passion and wanting to one day be out there playing in front of that crowd. So Husker Nation is showing out.
You said that a lot, and I really appreciate that about you, and I know a lot of people do, about the example that you set, and you're very mindful of that. What kind of example do you hope that you're setting for those young girls that are going to be coming to watch you play?
I want to be a humble and confident example for them. Especially being from here, I want them to know that it doesn't matter where you're from, you can do it. And so I don't know, I just want them to play the game the right way and be a good teammate.
One of the things that you had said after you won this second national title was about, you worked your whole life for this kind of moment, then you wake up the next day and you think, what's next? What was it like working through that process of coming to that understanding of that there is more to it than just that one moment?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, it's like you wake up the next day and it's just, you just got to get ready to start do it. You have to wake up and get ready to start doing it all over again. So you enjoy it for a second, but then life moves on. And especially when you're done playing, life continues to move on. And so it's about so much more than winning the national championship. I think more so the cool thing is how you use your platform with that. But yeah, it doesn't make you any greater of a person. It's a really cool accomplishment, but I think if you get lost so much in that, then you yourself will get lost when you realize that it's just that. It's a really cool accomplishment.
Yeah, and kind of on that a little bit more, in your announcement, you said you're excited to come home and be Jordy Bahl, the softball player, but also, more importantly, Jordy Bahl, the person. Mm-hmm. Can you dive into that a little bit more and what exactly you mean by that?
Yeah, just I think having a life outside of softball. There were times down in Norman where after practice, here the weekend rolls around and it's like I don't really know what to do because my whole family, my main loves are 7 hours away. And so I kind of struggled with that a lot. I would question myself at times, like, what am I doing? Like, I've never wanted my identity to be solely found in softball, but that's kind of what it feels like sometimes when that's all I have and I left 7 hours. But coming home, it's like I'm not going to have that problem. I'm not going to feel that because I will be able to see my family, support my brothers, and enjoy hobbies as well. So.
When you talk about that example, going back to that question, how important is that for these little girls that are thinking, oh, I got to put everything into softball, mm-hmm. to be mindful of that, there are things outside of softball?
Yeah, that's something I've been very blessed that my parents have made sure I understand from a young age. Even in high school, I struggled with identity at times with it being lost in softball, and so they were always huge supporters of me having hobbies as well. But I think for little girls, I would tell them, like, you need to take care of yourself as a person as well, because if you don't take care of yourself as a person, you're not going to be enjoying softball as much either, but also, like, you as a person is so much more important. So I would tell them to really find those people in your life that whether you picked up a ball again or not, they're going to love you and support you all the same, and tune into those people and what they have to tell you, because they're the ones that truly have your best interest at heart.
That's awesome. Well, when you ask anybody about you and describe you as a player, competitiveness, extreme competitor is one of the first things that people say. Where is that drawn from? Why are you such a competitor?
I don't know. I've always thought having 3 brothers has helped with competitiveness because we are always playing games in the backyard, whether it be basketball or football or wiffle ball. But also I think just growing up playing travel softball with Nebraska across my chest. I played for Nebraska Gold, Nebraska Thunder, always a Nebraska team, and then going out to California and playing the teams from out there where those are the major softball states in the country, and just kind of bowing up to them always was something I enjoyed the most. But also, like, that's just, you have to be scrappy and confident to play against the best. So I think that.
I like that. When we were walking over here, you were saying, man, I kind of feel like a freshman again. What's the process look like for you when you're coming in? And you know some of the players, but getting kind of acclimated with a new team, also new school, new campus, all of that. How does that process look like for you?
Man, it is really hard. I'm not a person that likes a lot of change, but it definitely has helped having a lot of familiar faces. And everyone I've met has been super supportive and helpful. But yeah, seriously, brand new campus. Like, I'm having to completely enroll, transfer everything over. It's just been a lot. So
I'm sure it's also been crazy too. I mean, your both tweets blew up when you made the announcement, everything that's going out about it. But was there a point, either maybe in high school or throughout the last couple of years, that you realized how big this thing was? And it's big for you, but then just the sport of softball is just exploding as well. Was there kind of a oh man moment for you where you realized kind of how big it was getting?
I don't know. I never try to look into that too much, but I thought it was really cool when I saw how the ticket sales have gone up for softball. and more so like how cool and how big of a moment that is for the program more than myself. I don't like to look at that at all, but for the program, I think it's going to be incredible. It's just already super cool, and I'm excited to be able to step out there with these girls and see a sellout crowd.
You going to be checking out some volleyball games too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
When Jordy Ball's not playing softball, not hanging out with family, what are some of the things that Jordy likes to do?
I like to hang out with my dog a lot. I like to go to the range and shoot guns with my dad. I like to go hunting with my brothers. But I also just like to have chill nights on the back patio with a fire going and just relax, hang out with my siblings and my friends, and just, I'm a big relationships person, so I really like to spend time with the people who are most important in my life.
That's so cool. Fishing? You like to fish?
I do like to fish. Yeah, my brother actually just got a fishing boat that he's working on, so he's going to take me out on it, and I'm excited for that.
It's going to be pretty cool to know the moments that you're going to be able to have now that you're back and getting settled in. I mean, you got to be really excited about that.
I am, and I think it's going to keep setting in as the year progresses and we're in the middle of fall and I can actually go do those things. I think that's when it'll like officially sink in, like, wow, this is really nice.
Did you have a favorite Husker growing up?
I was a big Papio softball girl, so even before I was in high school, I watched all of them. So I know Gina Metzler came here and played. I was a fan of Courtney before I was like her teammate. Still am a fan of Courtney, but I couldn't fangirl as much when I was actually playing with her. But the Papio girls that ended up being Huskers, I love to follow them.
I've said that Courtney's been one of my favorites since I got here. Potentially maybe going to follow in her footsteps and maybe hit a little bit?
Maybe.
Is that the hope?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Awesome. Well, Jordy, any final words for Husker fans?
No, I don't think so. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us and spending some time, and best of luck settling in. I know it's been a whirlwind, so appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And that is Jordy Bahl now with Husker softball. Keep it right here. We got much more on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Woodhouse Nissan is making shopping for your next vehicle simple. You can browse our inventory, apply for financing, and purchase all from the comfort of your home. Right now, lease a 2023 Nissan Murano SV all-wheel drive for $259 a month for 18 months. Visit us in store or online today. With approved credit, tax title license extra, 10,000 miles per year, $3,000 down, or trade equity plus first payment, $299 doc fee due at signing. Discounted price based on sale price of $40,528. Deal includes $1,000 NMAC loyalty rebate. VIN number 5N18Z2BS4PC136267. Offer expires 6/30/2023. See dealer for details.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corbin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Folks, our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by our good friends at Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 18 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands, a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Sports Nightly Tuesday night, our first show of the week. We had the 3-day weekend with Juneteenth yesterday. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Great interview. She's very humble.
Yes.
For the status that she has obtained around the country with winning 2 national titles.
Yeah, and you know, she said it in her press conference today, and I think you can get a sense for it when she's talking. It's she doesn't love the spotlight, and she a lot of times will deflect and defer to her teammates, and so for someone to be that caliber of a player to not relish in the spotlight as much, I mean, it's pretty rare. But yeah, she's very, very, very humble, and I think that was a little bit of it too. I mean, she's homesick, but I think even just kind of everything that comes with at OU and the tremendous spotlight that's on it. I think that was kind of sometimes uncomfortable for her too, and maybe even made it harder to deal with some of those pressures and expectations being so far away from home. And that's what she was saying, that she wasn't right being so far away from everything that she loved, and so it was hard for her to kind of go through all of that without her family. And so yeah, she's very, very humble and does not want it to be about her at all. And even when I was asking her about the ticket sales, and she doesn't want it to be about her, she wants it to be about this team and this program, which is just it's so awesome that an athlete of that caliber is that way.
We saw Courtney Wallace the last couple of years pitch a lot but bat as well. Does Jordy want more of a role? Does she want ABs?
Well, you heard her. I asked her about it, and she said, we'll see. But I think that's got to be absolutely.
Well, Rhonda's not opposed to that because she obviously did it with Courtney.
No, and Courtney was, and when I asked her about, did you have a favorite Husker? And, she loved Courtney Wallace when they went to high school together.
Right.
And I had to have seen what Courtney was able to do doing both and being a two-way player. And there were times even when Courtney wasn't pitching, she'd be the DH, and so I think that's, she's just such a competitor. I think she absolutely, if it works in her favor, I think she would be all for being in that hitting
Could
lineup.
she play a position? I'm sure she probably has in her
sure
softball career.
She's extremely athletic.
Yeah.
I bet she could play.
Because Oklahoma would pinch runner a lot,
Yes.
but she didn't get regular ABs.
Yeah, I think she hit a couple of times, but as far as being consistently in the lineup, no. And even Olivia Farrell hit. Remember, she hit a big hit in the Big Ten championship that ended up helping the Huskers win that Big Ten title. And she hit some, I think, earlier in her career. And then just when she took on more of a pitching load, I think that's when she didn't hit as much. But since I've been here, the pitchers hit.
Right.
Caitlin Kinney is a great hitter. She had some big-time hits in the regional a
2 years
year
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago
Yeah.
when she was
1 year
healthy.
ago.
Yeah, so when they were in Stillwater, she had a couple of big hits when they won in that first game down there. So this staff is not opposed to letting their pitchers hit.
And that's not the philosophy at Oklahoma. And I'm not going to argue they're winning 6-7 national titles now, but it seems to me if I'm a player, I would want the bat in my hand some.
So the last pitcher that I can remember that hit for Oklahoma was Kehlani Ricketts when they won their first national title back in 2013. But then the next year, there's one pitcher that hit a little bit, but since then, it's really been consistently.
And that's fine. That's their
hitting
philosophy.
pitchers consistently has been since Kehlani Ricketts back in 2013.
That could be a coaching philosophy. And again, Patty Gasso has won a lot more than I would ever have won. But I think Rhonda's certainly not opposed to, particularly on days they don't throw, to let them bat.
Yeah, I think, and if they want to do it, and I think for some players, it keeps them engaged in the game. It's helpful for them mentally, and they just are such competitors. And I mean, Courtney Wallace was, again, just one of those players that was so athletic and could do everything, and was a position player growing up. I mean, I've talked to her a lot about that, but she kind of made it impossible to leave her out of the lineup because she was just such an asset.
She had a 4-hit game in the regional.
Yeah, I mean, then when she got on base, she was a great base runner, and so I think just all the things that she brought, it was hard to leave her out of that lineup. Maybe some pitchers, that's not, they maybe solely focus on just pitching, and they specialize in that. But then for players like Courtney Wallace or Jordy Bahl that did everything, and then when they are still very elite at doing both, it makes it really hard for coaching staffs to leave them out of that hitting lineup as well.
We're going to hear from Coach Revelle coming up in hour number 2 of the program. She was part of the press conference today and then came down to the studio and did an interview with Jessica, so we'll look forward to hearing from that coming up in hour number 2. Man, the CWS has been unbelievable. They've only had 2 games that have not been decided by 1 run. Good one going on tonight with Tennessee and LSU. Elimination game. Loser goes home. They're down to 5 teams. They'll be down to 4 after tonight. I went up Friday, saw Florida, Virginia. Great game. Walk-off win for the Gators in the bottom of the ninth. It's been great. The crowd's been fan. The weather's been good, really. And they had 1 rain delay or lightning delay, but the weather's been good for it.
There's been a lot of great games. A lot of
4 or 5 walk-offs.
close games and a lot of excitement. I don't like the marathon bunch of hits either. There's been some good pitching. You've kind of seen a little bit of everything as well.
You haven't had a real slugfest game, a 10-9 game yet, but maybe that's coming yet, but down to 4. And just talk about and I'm watching an aerial shot. They've got like a drone flying over the ballpark. What a great commercial for Omaha and for Nebraska, right? I mean, they make this place look really good, really good.
Absolutely. And I mean, just my mom was asking me about Omaha and the World Series. And I said, it's really neat the way that Oklahoma City has their niche with softball and Omaha has their niche with baseball. And even when teams or whoever complains that Oklahoma has a home field advantage, if you ask other coaches, they don't want it to move from there because of the special atmosphere. And I think it'd be the same thing even if Nebraska was in there every year. I don't think a lot of coaches or players, just because of what it's built and it's known for that. And I was saying that I think you could probably very easily pick up the Women's College World Series and put it in Omaha, and it would do just as well, and probably put the Men's College World Series in Oklahoma City, and I think it would do just as well. It's just those cities have done just as good, such a great job of building around it and embracing it and promoting it, and it's so much fun, and it's what you know, and then it becomes a bucket list item for people.
Right, for people to do. Let's hope the NCAA doesn't get some idea that we need to move this to some other place, and we need to expose it to different pockets of the country.
I mean, there's not very many places that it would do as well.
I agree. No, I agree. Now, Schwab Field holds $25,000. You know, I could see the NCAA getting greedy and go, we need to take that to a major league ballpark where we could put 50, 48,000 in and make more money. I hope they don't go down that path.
I hope so too.
But the NCAA lives their own life. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Quick time to tell you that you still have a chance to be a part of the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium this fall by purchasing a Through These Gates mini plan. It's a 3-game ticket package. Get you tickets to the 2 home non-conference games, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech. Then you get to pick one of the 5 conference games, whether it be Michigan, Northwestern, Purdue, Maryland, or Iowa. So each are in the north and south end zones. You can purchase it online by visiting huskers.com/tickets. You can call the ticket office during normal business hours at 1-800-8-BIG-RED, or you can pop into the ticket office yourself and take care of that. Several thousand of those have been sold over the last month. All right, 402-413-2400. Back to wrap up hour 1 next.
Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football Through These Gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of 1 home Big Ten game, 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 1-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now to the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. University of Nebraska leadership has launched a $3 billion fundraising campaign to support education access for Nebraska students. The Only in Nebraska campaign, the largest in university history, will focus on creating scholarships to make education more affordable, attracting more Nebraska students, and keeping young people in the state after graduation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night, already punching our way through the week here. Tomorrow night on the program, we are going to hear from Nuri.
Nuri Nwali, yeah.
Who's now ready to play football again after
Yes.
being suspended for a year. I bet he cannot wait to get back out on the football field.
Yes, he cannot, and he has not. Well, hopefully he hasn't lost touch playing football as much as he hasn't lost touch doing interviews. Obviously, he loves doing media and being in the spotlight. not being a spotlight for himself, but he just enjoys doing media and kind of doing interviews. He's been awesome to talk to, so he's still as good as ever. And he's hilarious.
He has taken up the mantle of how unfair it is for foreign-born athletes to not be able to profit off NIL. I think they're trying to find ways around that, but they can if they're back in their own country, correct? Because I saw something today with Jazz Shelley promoting a Nebraska company.
So when they're back home on their home turfs, home soil, they can do NIL deals. It's back, I think, when they're here. And again, it's changing constantly. But yeah, when they're in their home countries, they can do NIL. And that's why you'll see Jazz put it out there on her social media or whoever when they go back. Hey, I'm going back to Australia for the next couple of weeks. If you have any NIL deals, then, let me know. But yeah, so I think it's just maybe when she's at home, and I don't know. I've heard that might be in the works of getting changed. I don't know how. I don't know how they can do that without maybe addressing the situation with just regular students that come to the United States from foreign countries. But yeah, hopefully that's something. At least they're able to make a little bit on that right now, and so she's absolutely capitalizing on it while she's back home.
So we know Jazz is not here right now.
Yes.
And neither's Casey, but he made the cut for their national team. They've got it down to 25 players. So he apparently did a nice job when he got back home just a week or so ago in some of their initial games. Stephen Bellevue said, Greg, Jessica, maybe I'm biased, but Omaha has to be the amateur athletes' capital of our country, from the CWS to the basketball regionals to the U.S. swim trials, which are leaving Omaha. They've been there like the last 3 Olympic Games. I think they're going to Indianapolis. Always are supported. He's absolutely right. In fact, Tim then in our YouTube chat room says track and field needs to be permanently put in Eugene, Oregon. I agree. Attendance this year at Texas and Austin was 1/4 of the normal at Oregon, and the climate was hot in Austin. I mean, it's Texas in June. It's going to be hot. Oregon has a nice, cool climate this time of year.
It's just when you think about track and field, you think about being in Eugene, Oregon.
Yes.
And I know it's more conducive to even just the athletes performing well. It's not ideal in Austin this time of year to be running on that hot track, and it's hard. And I think we saw a few athletes that probably would have been able to perform a little bit better if they were in better conditions.
It was hot. I don't know if that contributed to some of the poor efforts by the Huskers. I don't know. It was not on the men's side, particularly those throwers did not hit their marks that they were hitting a month or so earlier. Denny in Omaha on our text line said he believes Jordy Bahl led the state in home runs her senior year of high school.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting you, though, Denny. I think you might be onto something. Bill out in Portland, speaking of Oregon, says he's changed his mind. He goes, I think we need to keep natural grass inside of Memorial. I think he said, I once favored natural grass, no more, because of primarily the weather. Artificial field turf is obviously the best for now and in the future. Also, Bill, because of the angle of the stadium, I was told by one of the agronomist, is that what it's called? Somebody who deals with turf?
You're asking the wrong person here.
Said that because of how high the east stadium side is, the field would not get enough sunlight to really keep grass growing. So I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Although I know Matt Rural's put these grass practice fields over here. He wants all practices on grass.
It's I think a lot easier on the bodies, right?
Jeremiah's a big fan of grass. He throws that
I think
out
most
there.
football players are.
Yeah, easier on the joints. Hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 1 hour in the books, 1 to go. Come on back. Let's have some fun.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. That's why we make trucks like Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight and counting. Made for performance and capability. Made to play hard and work smart, on and off-road. That's because they're built Ford tough. So be future ready with Ford F-Series, based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Good evening. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska softball transfer Jordy Bahl met with the media today to give her initial reaction after deciding to continue her collegiate softball career closer to home. Bahl was asked what she has made of this Nebraska roster so far and how she might find her role on this team. Listen in.
I don't know. This team has a lot of strengths, and so I don't want to walk in and in any way feel like I'm overstepping anything. That's not what I want to do. I just want to come into this program and help in whatever way I can, and I just think our team is going to work hard all season to just leave it all out there, and then when you just leave it all out there, it's in the Lord's hands. Whatever happens, you're giving everything that you have, and that's all you can ask for, so it's going to be fun to see what happens.
Coming up here in Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, we'll hear from head coach Rhonda Revelle in studio as she will speak on what the future holds for Husker softball. Another Nebraska female athlete in the spotlight today was Axelina Johansson, who earlier today was named the Big Ten Women's Field Athlete of the Year, voted on by the conference's head coaches. In the sophomores 2023 campaign, she swept both the indoor and outdoor Big Ten shot put titles, was an NCAA runner-up in the indoor shot put, and an NCAA Division I champion in the outdoor shot put just a few weeks back. Congratulations to Axelina. On some international Husker news this week, the International Basketball Federation released the 25 players selected on Japan's preliminary World Cup roster, where Nebraska's very own Keisei Tominaga appeared on that list. This marks his second appearance with the senior national team after he played in 7 games last summer, averaging 15.9 points per game. Japan will have a very busy slate of games for pre-tournament preparation in Tokyo and will begin tournament play on August 25th in Okinawa. Just up the road in Omaha, the College World Series moves forward today, where the field will narrow to 4 teams after tonight. Earlier today, TCU took out Oral Roberts 6-1 in an elimination game, and currently in action on ESPN is LSU and Tennessee, where the Tigers lead 1-0 in the 4th. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit. Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon step throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to
baby.
The 35, to the 30. Rook tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. We're back. Hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night. Our first show of the week. We had the holiday yesterday, so back with you here tonight. Hope you had a wonderful Father's Day. You didn't get to play golf with your dad this year, right?
I did.
Did he go play golf? Sure he did.
I think he went yesterday. Yeah. We actually, my brother and I got him a driver for Father's Day, and his birthday's in July, so we combined it. We said, hey, sorry, we're combining this.
Has he tried it out yet?
No, but okay. Well, when we went to Hawaii, he played out there. He didn't take his clubs. He just rented some.
Yeah.
And in the bag that he rented was this driver that he really liked, and so my brother was with him, and he went and did all the legwork for it and found one that, because they don't make it, I don't guess anymore, and so he found one, and so we got it for him, and he just texted me while we were on the air, so I guess my brother saw him, but no, I didn't get a chance to see him this weekend, but we'll be down there again, and we'll play, and I got to find another spot to play up here, because he's going to be up here in a few weeks, and so that was one of the things he wants to do is go play golf up here again.
Good. Speaking of golf, U.S. Open, the L.A. Country Club, which is really close to downtown Los Angeles, and it was a cool-looking course. Because it sits so close to downtown, and the club they limited the number of tickets, and I thought it took away from some of the energy. There were a lot of times you couldn't hardly see any gallery around some of the golfers and shots, and the way the course is kind of laid out, there weren't a lot of places for people to stand. So I was kind of a mixed bag on the course. I said last week when we were making our picks, I think it's going to be somebody kind of off the radar. I went with Russell Henley. And Crypto, I told you to go live. He did finish 14th, so he had a decent, but Wyndham Clark wins the Open. So there's a guy kind of off the radar that won the Open.
It's such a great story. He had his first win just, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And had to figure out how to, he's 29 and just has kind of struggled a little bit, but has got things going. And he just a great story. And the emotion that he had when he won was really special to watch. I thought it was pretty interesting that he was pretty vocal about the position that he and Ricky Fowler were in at the end of round, I guess, 3,
Yep.
where he thought that maybe the not being able to see because it's so dark cost them a couple bogeys.
They did it for TV. They wanted it to go through primetime hours, and it was really cool.
It was awesome.
It was awesome to sit back
Yes.
on a Saturday and Sunday night and watch golf deep into the night. But because of that, and the marine layer that comes in the Los Angeles area off the ocean, it got dark. They felt like they couldn't read the putts very well the last 3 holes. He goes, there's no reason we needed to tee off that late. Back it up 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and let us get done before it gets too dark. But, so you had that complaint. You had the fact that there just didn't seem like there were a lot of fans at various parts around the course. And so there were some complaints about some of that, but it was fun watching
Brooks
golf.
Koepka didn't like it at all.
Yeah, your pick was Rahm, right? Did you go Rahm?
No, I said I thought Victor
Cole went
Hovland.
Rahm.
I thought Victor Hovland might get it done.
Rahm was not really much of a factor either. Yeah, but it was cool. Speaking of golf, we've talked about your dad's driver in the U.S. Open. Kelly Ann Strand, who's a Husker, just finished her freshman year. She won a U.S. Women's Amateur Qualifier. She shot a 3 under par. This was up in Alberta, Canada, which why would you have a U.S. amateur qualifying tournament in Canada? Does that make sense to you? That doesn't make much sense to me. But this gal's really good. Man, she's won a couple of tournaments. Now she wins a qualifier. And you keep thinking, okay, and she's from Idaho. You're kind of worried, is she going to want to stay at Nebraska? But I guess she likes it here, really.
She loves it here. She loves it here. And if you missed the interview that I was able to do with her earlier in the spring, is right before the postseason, I think, started, and we have it on our podcast platforms. Go back and listen to it. Her story is incredible. She grew up on a 9-hole course, tiny town, only 2 girls in her graduating class, like I think 15 in her total in her class, or 13, and only 2 girls, and 9-hole course. She was 3 hours away from the closest 18-hole course. And so she...
How far? 3 hours?
3 hours. Yes, 3 hours. And she had talked about how her driving and her short game were pretty good, but the greens weren't very good at her course that she grew up on. And so that's one thing, that's a part of her game that's really grown since she's been to college, is learning how to putt better and being a better putter. But you're talking about an athlete that could potentially be the best golfer to ever come through here.
Yeah.
And so she's just a freshman and has a tremendous story and was great to talk to. Again, another one of those very humble athletes, and good for her. We've said it every time we say her name, Kelly Ann Strand. That won't be the last time we say her name on this program.
So she advances now to the U.S. Women's AM Championships, which will be at Bel Air Country Club, which is another one right out near where the LACC was for the U.S. Men's Open this past week, mid-August. She'll be playing in that, so she wins the qualifier and moves on to that. But, man, this is exciting. Every time I see a golf story come across the wire involves the Huskers, I'm almost always anticipating it's going to be about her.
How unbelievable awesome would that be for her to get to play in the U.S. Open? Look at what the amateurs just did in this last week, and they played pretty well.
They sure did. And, if she wins this U.S. Women's AM, that automatically qualifies her for next summer's U.S. Women's Open. So if she wins it, and it might get her into some other tournaments, too. So that's really cool.
I think it does. I'm not sure how it works with women, but I'm pretty sure it gives you an invitation to a few different tournaments, which would be a great experience.
Yeah, so congratulations, Kellyanne. Keep it going. Keep it rocking. Tomorrow night, we're going to continue our series of interviews with members of the 2023 Hall of Fame class. Brittany Timko, one of the great soccer players to play in Nebraska, was part of a couple of World Cup teams for Canada. She is from Canada. She lives out in the Vancouver area. We're going to talk to her tomorrow night. What a class. We've already talked to Tommy Frazier and Gary Pepin, and then last week, Lori Endicott, who was just a charm to talk to. She was phenomenal. Incredible. And so looking forward to talking to Brittany tomorrow night. We're going to make our way through the whole class. We're trying to pick off one a week. So tomorrow night, Brittany Timko will be here.
And all of those interviews, if you missed any of them, are also on our podcast platforms. You can go back and listen to all of those.
Very cool. You know what's in 2 days? I didn't realize this till like 24 hours ago. The NBA draft is Thursday night.
Yeah. I know Derek Walker's had some workouts. Sam Griesel's had some workouts.
I don't think he gets drafted, but he might get invited to a camp.
But, I mean, go maybe land in a good spot with the G League. You never know what could happen. But, I think just Derek Walker, what he's able to do, I think he's going to find himself a spot.
I do, too. I agree. Now, last year we were all fired up because Bryce was going to get drafted and did, and we were fired up for the draft that night. We won't have that suspense. But Derek brings a lot to the table because he's such a great passer. He's got a big body. His body will hold up well in the NBA.
Yeah, and I think you saw his offensive game grow quite a bit last year, and he was kind of a guy that deferred, I think, in the past, but you saw him be a lot more aggressive, and he's able, even though he's not as big as some of the big men that he was matching up with, I think he showed he can get around that and is able to, he's quicker and has just found other ways to score, even being undersized, quote unquote. And so I think you saw a lot of potential of what he could potentially do for a team at the next level. And yeah, I think in just the way how you talk to him, you really enjoy him and his personality. He's going to be a good locker room guy, a good franchise guy, a guy that would be good to be around any franchise. And the G League is, man, we've said they've done some really good things. Our boy Andrew's working for a G League team, and so
who?
I actually talked to Andrew the other day. I said, we've mentioned you about once a week, I feel like.
He doesn't even acknowledge us anymore back here. At least me and Cole, he doesn't even acknowledge us. So we're long gone and forgotten.
You guys don't talk about the NBA enough. I think that's why.
That's probably right. One other note before we get to the break. We got Rhonda Revelle coming up in the next block. A couple of Husker student athletes, Sam Griesel and Megan Whitaker, who's another golfer, have captured Big Ten Outstanding Sportsmanship Awards for their impact on their sport and their community. Sam's a no-brainer, all the stuff that he did in the offseason. And Megan, 5-year starter for the Husker women's golf team, great student at the University of Nebraska. She was on the Tom Osborne Citizenship Award, and she also was a part of the trip to Panama back in May. We're going to hear more about that trip later this week. We're going to talk to a couple of student athletes who went down there and did a service trip. Husker Athletics has done this a handful of times over the last 10 years. It's a marvelous thing. In fact, I think they went back to a spot where they started to build a school a few years ago. They went back this year. So Megan Whitaker and Sam Griesel earned Big Ten Outstanding Sportsmanship Awards.
Very good for them. Congratulations.
Gonna miss Sam.
I will too. He'll be around. And as we said about the other day, his impact is going to keep. He's going to keep impacting this program because look at all these local kids. I mean, even a guy like Josiah Alec paid very close attention to what Sam Griesel did, and that was a big part of why he wanted to come back here and be interested. And it had to be a right fit for him. But, I mean, Sam Griesel was a reason why he was paying pretty close attention to see what Sam did with this program last year. So, yeah, huge for him to come back, and he's still going to keep giving back. And he did so much, and he made the most of his time as a Husker.
Sure did. And as we mentioned earlier, Keisei is trying to make that Japanese national team. Basketball is going to press conference tomorrow. They're going to have C.J. Wilcher and Jamarcus Lawrence, and Rink is going to talk to the media tomorrow. We've already talked to Rink.
Yeah,
so
and somebody did make the
Rubik's
Cube, fixed it. I'm assuming it was Cole, but somebody got it done.
Cole took it home and spent about a couple days on it and got it. So
no, he got it in like a minute 30. So I'm waiting for him to break the Guinness World Record of 3.3 seconds.
You're giving him far too much credit over there. His head will not go through the door if you keep pumping that up. All right, need to step aside, get a break in. Our Sports Nightly hotline open and available for you at all times. You can fire off a text 402-413-2400. It's brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for at Woodhouse. Back to hear from Rhonda Revelle. We'll do that next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. UNL is the only Big Ten university in Nebraska, part of the only conference with an academic alliance. Being in the Big Ten means superior academics, unique student opportunities, better resources, and world-class research programs. With 72% of undergraduate students receiving scholarships or financial aid, UNL offers a Big Ten education at great value.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. That's why we make trucks like Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, and counting. Made for performance and capability, made to play hard and work smart, on and off-road. That's because they're built Ford tough. So be future ready with Ford F-Series, based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now to the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy, with a mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the Great Big Small Bank. Visit fnbo.com to learn more or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Ford is making car buying better with 3 convenient locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth, a streamlined process, and great offers going on now. Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is an easy choice. Save up to $11,000 off MSRP on a new 2023 F-150 XLT Super Crew. Shop our entire inventory and savings now at woodhouseford.com. With approved credit, see dealer for details. Expires 6/30/2023.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. 26 Husker students presented research findings on nuclear deterrence to a panel of U.S. Strategic Command officials at STRATCOM headquarters in Bellevue. The student-led presentation was the culmination of a semester of STRATCOM-guided research and the latest in a years-long partnership between STRATCOM and the National Security Studies program at Nebraska.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Well, it's exciting times for Husker softball, and we're going to keep talking the Bahl effect. I guess that's what people have dubbed it, right? So head coach Rhonda Revelle joining us in studio. Man, how exciting have these last couple weeks or last week or so been for you in the program?
I don't even think it's been a week yet, but yeah, it was, I guess just about a week. So, you know, it's been really wonderful. And there's a lot of things that are really great about it. I mean, here's one thing I've known about Jordy since she was 12 or 13 years old. Her love for Nebraska has been just unmatched. And to see her just come back home, and when I got to reunite with her and her mom and dad and her brother, just to have that, you know, just that warmth of thinking that they're going to be together. So there's just so many things to celebrate here for her. And, you know, she wants to make an impact in the state for growing the game. I think she already has without hardly doing anything, right? So that's exciting, too, and she'll continue to make an impact. But the other thing that was really special is when she was here on campus, we were able to have lunch at our training table with a lot of the players that are on campus, and they happen to be our Nebraskans that have either played with her or against her, and just to watch them reunite. I mean, they jumped up from the table, and those embraces were genuine. It wasn't like I haven't had to make any introductions, so that's been really fun, too, to be able to witness that.
I want to dive into Jordy a little bit more, but we haven't had you in studio since the end of the season, and you had to be really excited about the way your team fought to the very end, and really had a shot there to maybe punch a ticket to a super regional. But the way they fought against Wichita State and Oklahoma State, I feel like this program took another step out at the postseason this year.
You know what? Thank you for bringing that up. The way this season ended, it was really magical, and I really felt like, you know, we'd hit some bumps in the road at different times during the season. Some of it was because of injury, some of it was because of expectation, some of it was, you know, we just didn't perform the way that we wanted to. But there at the end, the one thing that I always said about this team is people might think that we're this far away, but we feel like we're this far away. And I think we saw that culminating effect of thinking that we're just this far away in that regional down in Stillwater. And the thing that was so, I don't even know how to describe that game against Wichita State, that Saturday night in Stillwater, but it was palpable. I would say the emotion, but it just felt like genuine love. I mean, it's like there was just love radiating everywhere. Love for the game, love for teammates, love for just competition. And I felt like waking up the next morning, I was a changed human being. And I felt like our players felt that too. And now to be able to take that and head into the next season and then add somebody like a Jordy Bahl to that group, everybody's returning except for a couple. And even Courtney Wallace will be back with our team, so she's even going to be a part of us. And Maya's going to still be in town. And so it's just, like I said, there's a lot of things to celebrate on top of the fact of the news of the last week.
Yeah, I felt like, you know, I was at Stillwater the year before, and then just watching on TV, they look like a team that believe they should be there and they should win in advance, whereas maybe the year before, maybe trying to figure things out a little bit. And so how important is that for when you have young players, when that light kind of clicks and they do believe that they can compete on this level?
It's everything. You know, believing is the first step to really achieving at a high level. And that doesn't happen overnight. It happens incrementally by being in the fire after fire after fire, and then learning how to respond in those moments, and sometimes failing in those moments or not having the success that you'd like. But then you have those breakthrough moments, and they're really exhilarating, and that's what that was down in Stillwater.
Were you breaking a little news for us? Courtney Wallace she's going to be around?
Yeah, yeah. You know, Courtney, when she took her COVID year, had to start grad school.
Okay.
So she's got another year of grad school, so she's going to stay around and be our grad.
Oh, that's awesome. But and how cool is that for, because I know Courtney and Jordy are really close, and Jordy said she was a fan of Courtney, and, you know, for them to be able to have that relationship and then now get to be kind of on the same team again together.
Well, you know, they went to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really fun. I'm glad, in fact, when Jordy announced that she was coming to Nebraska, the very first text on my phone was from Courtney.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really great.
So in terms of a pitcher and getting a pitcher like Jordy Bahl, what does that do for this team that's already in place?
Well, I think it just, obviously the excitement has gone off the charts, as you know, by what we've got going on with potential season ticket holders. I think, you know, here's the thing, our pitchers are excited. So you know that your culture is really healthy when your pitchers may be the most excited because they want to create this staff and everyone wants to do their part. And you've got Kaylin Kinney coming back. You've got Sarah Harness, you know, she's had her, I think sometimes the first year for a transfer that's coming in a new program where they don't really know anybody like Sarah did, I think this year you're going to see, just like Maya talked about from year 1 to year 2, about just really settling in. I think you're going to really see us settle in. And then we've got a couple of freshman pitchers that are just like, really, I get to work next to Jordy Bahl and learn from her. So there's just a lot of excitement throughout the program, and we feel like we have a lot of good pieces in place to, and add Jordy to it, and skyrockets the excitement.
You know, when she's doing her press conference and when she's made announcements, she's made it very clear how much she loves the state and understands the program, the culture, not just with softball, but across the board here with Husker athletics. And sometimes it might take a new player a little while to figure all that out. But how neat is that you've got this new player that's coming in, that's joining your team, but already has an understanding of what it's like to be a part of the Red Team and Husker Nation.
Right. No, that's great. And I will tell you, I've had a few little conversations. We've hardly talked about softball, and I really look forward to those conversations as well. But, you know, she's made comments because she knew people on the team, that she followed us closely, that she watched a lot of games, that, you know, she talked about that, and even talked about Courtney as she went through the stretch. She said, you know, it's like she putting on innings, but she never lost her mechanics, and she just kept throwing. And so I could tell that she watched with a keen eye and kept track of, especially of the teammates that she's been teammates with.
And another Nebraska kid you've added from the transfer portal, Bella Bacon. Tell us about her.
You know, we're really excited about Bella as well. Coach Miller is very excited to get working with Bella. She's a strong young lady. She comes from Millard West High School, been to many of our camps. The first go-around in recruiting, it just didn't work out for our roster, and you know, Bella called too. Of course, this was a few weeks ago. They'd had a coaching change at Purdue and said, I really want to come home. I just want a chance. And I'm like, come on down. Let's talk. Let's visit. And it's worked out. And we're excited about Bella as well.
You know, we're coming up on the anniversary of Title IX. We sat down now almost a year ago, and we're celebrating the 50th anniversary. But, you know, someone that's been a part of the sport and the growth of Nebraska softball, to see what's happening now and the ticket sales through the roof and just the amount of support that your program is garnering right now. I mean, can you even describe what that means to you as the leader of this program?
Well, I think the younger Rhonda Revelle, when she first started coaching at Nebraska, if they would have said in a few decades from now this is going to happen, I don't know that I would have even known how to fathom that. The not as young Rhonda Revelle now, I'm like, this is completely awesome. It's not foreign to me because I've watched it happen, you know, with volleyball for many years. And we've had great fan support. Do not get me wrong. We've had great fan support, but this is going to another level. And so it's really exciting, and I really just want to take it day by day and soak it in and enjoy it and have all of our players and our families really be able to embrace the moment and just understand that not only did Jordy do this, but so did they. You know, it's all, everybody has a hand in this, and so it's really exciting.
Well, you've been cycling? You had any time to do that?
I've had a little bit of time to cycle, but I'm a little bit nervous because I'm about ready to hit a 2-day ride before I head out recruiting to Colorado, and it's 50 miles each day, so I've got to log about 100 miles in 2 days, and I'm not quite sure I'm in shape for that, but I am going to gut it out.
Oh, let's do it. Well, can't wait to hear about that when you get back from that. Appreciate your time. It's been fun to follow this program, just even postseason to now. Boy, the excitement hasn't stopped. I don't feel like it's just been going, and I know exciting things are on the horizon as well. So thank you so much, and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to step aside for another break here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corbin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Well, it's that time of year to start thinking about the Cornhusker State Games, and none better to tell us all about that than the executive director of the Nebraska Sports Council, Dave Mlnarik. What year is this for the games? What year is this for you running the games, my friend?
This is the 39th year of the Cornhusker State Games, big 40th anniversary next year. This is my 32nd year of being involved and my 18th year as the executive director.
How many events for this year's games?
We have, I think, 72 sports this year.
Wow. Any new ones?
One new one, bocce.
Bocce. Where are you going to compete that at? Do you have a place lined up in Lincoln or Omaha for that?
There's a place in Exarban Village, and the name of it escapes me right now, but they got a league going there, and they're having a lot of fun playing bocce, and they thought, why not put it in the Cornhusker State Games, and we agreed.
Well, all right, let's start out with dates. Where are we looking at? We're, about a month out from these games?
Yeah, the first competitions are actually the weekend of July 7th. So we'll have a very light weekend that weekend, and the main one probably is swimming, which we do in Fremont now at the Fremont YMCA, beautiful swim center there. And then the two biggest weekends are July 14th and 15th, and then the following one, 21st and 22nd-ish. Can't remember if those are the exact dates.
That sounds right.
We finish up in the last weekend of July with quite a few of our team sports. So every weekend in July we'll be busy.
All right, I'm sure we're coming up on some registration deadlines. Where is that for the folks? Where does it stand?
Yes, well, first of all, CornhuskerStateGames.com has all of your information, the list of sports and where everything is at. So you go there and you find the sport you're interested in. You see when that is. If it works for you and you're ready to register, you can do it right there on the website. The big deadline that we have coming up is actually Wednesday, June 21st, and that'll be tomorrow.
Yep.
So by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, you need to register if you want to get your free athlete shirt. It's kind of a tradition with Cornhusker State Games, and really most state games across the country, that you get a shirt when you register, and it's a symbol that you're participating. You're one of the bunch. So tomorrow's the last day for that shirt to be free with your paid entry. You can register for most sports through the 5th of July this year, so there's still time to get in, but you're out of time tomorrow to after tomorrow for your free shirt.
Yeah, I'm visiting with Dave Mlnarik. We're talking about the Cornhusker State Games coming up in just a couple of weeks, and you get to that 4th of July holiday, and boy, it's here and ready to roll. Dave, it's been a pretty fun day here at the stadium. Jordy Bahl was back and held a press conference, and she was a part of your games last year, right? Was she your torchbearer a year ago?
She was our torchbearer a year ago. She was also our Oath of Athletes presenter in 2021. We've had her 2 years in a row, and guess what? She's going to be back with us on our opening night this year, July 6th. So we've had a really good connection with Jordy, and now that she's returning to Nebraska to play for the Huskers, it's going to be really fun to have her actually pass the torch on to the other torch bearers who are going to bring it down to the cauldron this year. So that'll be really fun. And that's on Thursday, July 6th. we do that about 8 o'clock right in front of Pinnacle Bank Arena this year. We're going to touch the cauldron off.
Oh, fantastic. Have you selected your final torchbearer?
We do, and we've made it public actually already. Nicklin Hames is going to light the cauldron this year, and Jazz Shelley is going to be part of the contingent. So we have 3 really awesome female Husker athletes who've done well, and but we're going to recognize Nicklin's great volleyball career with Nebraska and let her be the one that does the honor of lighting the cauldron.
Oh, that's fantastic. You couldn't have picked a better person. She will do a fantastic job. I know, you have a lot of female participants, don't you, in the games? I mean, I'm not sure if it's 50-50. Maybe it is. I'm sure you have an awful lot of sports and people that are women and girls who are part of this.
We do. As you know, Greg, it's all ages, all abilities, and it's been, I think, inching up on the female side for us for about the last 4 or 5 years. The female participation is trending up, and it's between 45 and 50% now. So we're almost exactly half females. That was last year's game, so we'll see where it shakes out this year. But all ages, all abilities in 70 different sports. There is literally something for everyone in the Cornhusker State Games.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, Dave, so tomorrow night, midnight, basically is the deadline. If they want to get registered and get that free T-shirt, do the prices jump up at all after tomorrow?
We've had our last price increase, so you're not going to have to pay more, but you're going to get more for your money. The other thing that we get this year is a packet of what we call summer fun freebies. Everybody who registers by the end of the day tomorrow, besides the shirt, also gets a voucher for a free Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball game, a free Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game, the Nebraska State Fair. You get a voucher for free admission there, and the Lancaster County Super Fair. So a lot of summer fun freebies, about a $50 package. That's all available to you if you register by midnight tomorrow, Wednesday, June 21st.
Oh, that's fantastic. Dave, always good to catch up with you. I know it's going to be a hugely successful games, as it always has been, and under your guidance, we're in such good hands for that. Hit them again with how if we've piqued somebody's interest to maybe put together a team real quick, or if they just want to do one of the individual sports, hit them again with where they go find the information.
Yep, it's all available at cornhuskerstategames.com. And since you brought it up, I'll just say teams, if you have a person just get the team registered tomorrow, you're still all going to get the shirts. So get your team in tomorrow, and we'll figure it out after that.
Good to know. Dave, thank you so much. Have a great games. I know you will.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Greg.
Dave Mlnarik, the Executive Director of the Nebraska Sports Council. Again, the Cornhusker State Games, there's a registration deadline to get you some goodies by tomorrow night. So if you're procrastinating, like I know some of us may tend to do, you want to get that done by tomorrow. You joined us on our Sports Alley Hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. All right, phone lines, text lines back open for you, 402-413-2400. Jessica will rejoin me next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better, now with 2 convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in-store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha. With approved credit, must finance with GMC. Dealer for details, expires 6/30/2023.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Back final few minutes. Sports Alley here on a Tuesday night. 402-413-2400. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you. Hope you had a great day today. Boy, heat has cranked up a little bit here in the last several days. It feels summerish, doesn't it, outside?
It really does. And my mom was up here the last couple of days, and she said, man, it's hotter up here than it is in Oklahoma.
Yeah. At least the humidity hasn't gotten going yet. It's going to because the corn's coming up. I told you that last week.
So the corn traps...
Holds the moisture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
did not know that.
Yeah, going to get more humid as we get going through this whole thing. We play Colorado, Jessica. I know you know that, but
really?
week two, we're playing the
Breaking
Buffaloes. Deion Sanders is having some health issues. He may have to have his left foot amputated. Deion's all about the show. He allowed a camera crew come in and film his session with the doctor last week. And the doctor said, yeah, he's having circulation issues with his foot. He had a couple toes removed a couple years ago because of the same issue. And the doctor says, yeah, you may lose the foot. So I hope everything's fine. I don't wish any bad ill on anybody, but that's odd. I mean, hope he's going to do okay.
Yeah, that's kind of scary news. That would be... I wouldn't want that filmed if I was hearing that.
I mean, that's right. That's a little odd, isn't it? To have bring in.
I guess if he's open door policy, everything that's going on.
That's just odd. Another guy who's having some issues is Bob Huggins. Got a DUI the other night. He has resigned as head basketball coach at West Virginia. Huggy is really popular among all the coaches. They love being around Bob Huggins. Doc Sadler, former Husker coach, was always highly complimentary of Bob. He's got an issue. He's got a couple DUIs. Thank goodness nobody got hurt.
It was, 2 months ago that he had an ordeal where he went on a radio station and had some slurs and was put on, I don't know, was he on probation or?
They had restructured his contract because of that deal, and I think it was going to kind of set up for him to have one more season and then be out the door. And then he gets arrested over the weekend, Friday night, allegedly, again, I got to throw that word in there, but his alcohol content was 0.2 something, which is pretty darn high.
Yeah, you can't do that. And the way that social media blows up, I mean, I think it was probably 2 hours after he got arrested, everybody knew about it. And it's a sad deal. And you can't deny the kind of basketball coach he is, and you can't say the things he said, and you can't do what he does and make the mistakes that he makes and keep getting away with it. There has to be some consequences for that. But the way that he was able to get guys to buy in and play the style of play that they played when it's kind of become such an offensive game, and how great they are on the defensive end, and they play tough, they play physical. I mean, it is just a tough style to play. And I think they have a pretty good group this year.
They do. Press Virginia was kind of their nickname.
Yep.
They got a point guard from Arizona that the Huskers were in deep discussions with just a couple of months ago. Those players have been given the opportunity to leave. And I think that's only fair if they've made a decision to come there and then Bob Huggins is no longer their coach. I don't know if
do they have to set out?
Nope.
No.
Not the ones that, because of his actions. You were reading earlier, his daughter's not real happy about how this whole thing has been spun. I don't know where she stands on this thing. I mean, her dad is second or third DUI for him, and I don't think the school had any choice but to sever their ties with him.
She didn't like the way that it is being framed that he's an alcoholic. And I didn't read the whole thing. It's a long post that she put out there, very, very long post. And so I didn't read through all of it. But, yeah, she put it out there that she didn't like how some of the administration handled this whole situation.
He was convicted of a drunk driving charge in 2004 when he was the Cincinnati Bearcats head coach, and then he had some NCAA issues there that caused him to leave there and got let go, and then he went to K-State for a year. And I've talked to some people down in the Manhattan area, and they said, yeah, it was pretty legendary that he would run up pretty big bar tabs places. So I hope he gets the help. I hope he realizes he needs some help, and that's the hardest step, right, to kind of admit you got an issue. And I don't know that Bob, and from the sound of the letter you were reading that his daughter put out, I don't think the family believes that he needs help.
Does he coach again?
No, he's 69. I think that's it. That's the end of it for him. So.
I wonder if he wasn't going through everything, how long he would want to coach. If he had a certain outcome in mind, or he wanted to make, I don't know, a Sweet 16 or something, or if there's something in his mind. How do you come to the point where you're ready, you know that you're ready to hang it up, you know?
A lot of coaches have a hard time with that.
I know.
You know, you think, and I've talked about this in the past, you go around college basketball, and some of these guys are pretty old. Leonard Hamilton, I think, is pushing 70 at Florida State. Huggy was 69. You had Krzyzewski, who was in his 70s when he finally stepped down at Duke. Roy Williams was getting upper 60s. Tom Izzo's not a young guy at Michigan State. So these basketball coaches just, I mean, I think it keeps them going. I think it kind of gives them purpose to continue to coach and be around young people that invigorates them and does that type of thing. And it's kind of a high they get from being on the bench coaching games.
It's so much of their life, and it's a huge part. It's probably hard to just have that void and not be there, because, I mean, it is. And then the way that it is now, it's all day, every day with recruiting. I asked Coach Hoiberg this one time on one of his shows, which college coach would he most want one of his sons to play for? And he said Tom Izzo, which one of his sons did play for. Yeah. So who would you, if you had a son, you don't have a son, but if you had a son, who would you most like your son to play for?
Oh, there's a lot to pick from. I mean, it's hard to pick at Bill Self, something negative on Bill Self. I mean, the success that he has. I know Bill a little bit, so I know he's a good man. So I would not have no qualms to have my son play for Fred Hoiberg.
Same, yeah. And you just, once you get to know them on a personal level, this whole staff, they're such great people. Both basketball staffs, we're very fortunate to work with such great people, and they're so kind and genuine. And then you talk about the way that they can develop. I understand that the results haven't been there, but the proof is in the pudding with Fred Hoiberg and how he's been able to develop guys throughout the years.
He's gotten it right on the staff. It took him a couple years, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, that in some ways you felt like last year was year one for him, even though it wasn't. But there was a year one with that group of assistant coaches, with Adam Howard and Nate Lenzer and Ernie Ziegler. That group feels right, and they're back again for a second year. I think we've said it time and time again, it's going to be a fun winter around here for both the men and women. I think it's going to be we're going to see a lot of wins at PBA coming up here this winter. All right, tomorrow night here on the program, we're going to talk to Nuri Nureli, who is back after a year suspension for a drug violation that he disputes. He's still not happy about that decision and doesn't believe he did anything wrong a year ago. We missed him because it kind of vacated a hole in that offensive line, but he's back. We'll hear from him tomorrow night, and we'll also hear from Brittany Timko, who's another member of the 2023 Hall of Fame class. She's a terrific soccer player, went on to play in a couple of World Cups for her native land of Canada. That'll be a fun show tomorrow night.
Will be. We got some fun content planned for the next few weeks. It should be a fun summer. We've got a lot of fun things ahead.
Almost to the 4th of July. I think tomorrow's first day of summer. So it's the longest day of the year, and then it goes downhill from there. It'll be dark behind you once we get we got months away.
Don't say that.
We got months away for that to happen. Thanks to Cole. Thanks to Russ sitting in here tonight with us on the program. Thanks all of you for listening. We're back here tomorrow night. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. more powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My